The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the ECAT staff or board of directors.
Hello and welcome to the July 2025 edition of For the Love of Words. Today's poet is Anne E.G. Nydam. She is the author of books, short stories, and poetry, an artist of relief block prints, and the inaugural Poet Laureate of Nydam, Massachusetts. Bittersweetness and Light, her collection of hopeful speculative fiction, short stories, poetry, and art, was released in January 2025. She is also the author and illustrator of books for all ages, from nursery rhymes to middle grade fantasy novels to a medieval-style bestiary. Her short stories and poems have appeared in a number of magazines and anthologies, and she also exhibits her relief block prints regularly. With an undergraduate degree in linguistics from Yale University, a background teaching middle school art, and an abiding interest in world history, natural history, and art history, Anne cannot go far without encountering something fascinating, and anything that fascinates her just might find its way into her art or writing. She believes that finding joy is an act of fierce defiance. Learn more about her art and writing at nydamprints.com, where you can also see a calendar of her upcoming events, including participating in the ReaderCon Conference on Imaginative Literature in Burlington, Mass. On July the 17th through the 20th, and also a solo show of poetry and prints featuring her original artwork, illustrating poems of her own and others, which will be up at the Gorse Mill Gallery in Nydam from July 16th through August 27th. Welcome, Anne.
Thank you.
So I usually start the interview by asking the poet, when did you first get drawn to poetry?
So I am one of those kids who was scribbling poems, as soon as I could write. I have loved it as long as I can remember. I've been writing it as long as I can remember. I've wanted to be a poet when I grew up, about as long as I can remember. So obviously my family, my parents obviously gave me, exposure to poetry.
Right.
When I was little to have fostered this love.
So as you got older, who were the poets that influenced you?
So initially I was particularly drawn to rhyme and sound and rhythm and the very, starting with nursery rhymes, of course. And like Walter de la Mare and, The Lady of Shalott and, all of these very romantic poetry that did not sound like normal language, right?
Okay.
It was
Yep.
different, it was special. Obviously, as I get older, I get more interested in some of the, Amanda Gorman, Mary Oliver, these people who are, less sort of forms, less rhyme and so forth. But I still have a love of, I believe strongly that poetry should not just sound like normal speech with enjambment. Like it should sound different.
Right, I agree. In illustrators, artists, who were your influences in that field?
Again, when I was little, I was all into the fairy tales and, princesses with pretty dresses and all the special magical details and so forth. What I do now, relief block printing, is much more about focusing down, right? You have to distill something into kind of the basics. You get black and white, right? And Escher, who doesn't love Escher, right? But in terms of my influences, I have a blog in which I blog about writing and about block printing both. And so I'm constantly finding new block print artists that are amazing and interesting.
Could you describe for our audience, there may be some in the audience who don't know what relief block printing is. Could you describe what
Yeah,
that is?
absolutely. So I start with a block. Could be anything. I use primarily rubber, but it's the same principle as linoleum. It's the same principle as wood block printing, which I every once in a while do. So you start with a block. You carve a design into it with tools where you're scooping out, the wood or the rubber or the linoleum or whatever it is. After you finish carving whatever it is you're going to carve, you roll ink across the top, and the ink does not go down into the carved parts. It stays on the upper surface.
Okay.
So it stays on the flat, uncarved surface. You put down paper, press it, the ink sticks to the paper. So the image on the paper that, where you see the black of the ink, that's all the parts that weren't carved. Where you see the white of the paper, that's all the parts that got carved.
Okay. Okay. Is there a particular image or images that you use in your relief block printing?
Well, in terms of themes, as you said in the intro, anything that I look at it and I go, that's cool, then I think, well, how can I turn that into a way to share it with other people and get other people to notice how cool it is?
Well, I noticed you mentioned about the fairy tales and everything. And I noticed in your bio the fact that you have done both children's and middle-age fantasy books, illustrations. What have been the themes in those books?
So I love fantasy, I love fairy tales, I love magic, I love all that stuff. And so, I come back to both illustrating, the sorts of fairy tales people know, Sleeping Beauty, Rapunzel, whatever. But also other sort of my own imaginings.
Okay.
So
created your own kingdom?
Kind of, yeah. So
you and J.K. Rowling?
Yeah, I mean, the idea of what if, that's kind of a huge part of speculative fiction, which is kind of the umbrella that includes fantasy, sci-fi.
Right.
So, and my art is just like, well, what if you could? So I had a piece at one point that was little tiny people floating away on dandelion fluff, right?
Okay.
So like, what if you could do that? Or, I don't know, depends which poems I share, but, and then when I'm looking, I'm actually putting together a second collection right now of short stories, poetry, and art. Okay. And the theme of this one is going to be all things that have kind of been inspired by, or like riffing on, or upending, or doing stuff with these classical mythology, fairy tales, folklore, these other things.
Do you have a working title for that yet?
Yes, it's called Beyond Pomegranate and Thorns.
Okay.
So this is Persephone's pomegranate and Sleeping Beauty's thorns are what that's alluding to. But
okay. Now, I have to ask this question because of your degree in linguistics. Being a writer myself, I understand sometimes we are writing a piece of fiction or perhaps a poem, and we're looking for a word. And it's a specific word, but it's just not coming to us. Does your background in linguistics aid you in finding that particular word?
So I used to be 100% the walking thesaurus, right? I used to be the person people would say, oh, what's another word for? And I could rattle off 10 of them. The older I get, that I'm losing that a little, which is super frustrating. I actually have a poem about that too. I could maybe
I'd be interested in hearing it.
But yeah, one of the things, so I always say that I revel in the English language the way Scrooge McDuck revels in a pile of gold coins.
Yep.
It's like, whoosh, whoosh,
Yeah.
whoo. Because we have so many words.
We do.
But they're all different. They have their different connotations. They have their different sounds. They have their different
Nuances.
vibe and nuance. Right. And part of that, to get back to your question about the linguistics, is because of where English got them all. Because English is this language that tends to adopt words, right? And
I always thought it just stole the language from.
Well, here's the thing. The original language gets to keep it too.
That's true. That's true.
So, you know, we have the words that came from Latin. Not that. It's not even that simple. We have the words that came from Latin back here, and we have the words that came from Latin during the church translating the Bible era, and we have the words that came from Latin during the Enlightenment, bringing the science words era, and we have, right, so then we have all those. And then we have all the words from French. And again, we have the words that come from the Normans, and we have the words that come from the 18th century, and we have the words that come, okay, and then we have, right, the words from Norse, and we have the words from Dutch, and we have the words from, you know, Italian, and on and on and on down the line. And they all have their different connotations, and they all have their different sounds. So when you're looking to put these into a poem, you get to think about how many syllables it has. You get to think about the alliteration, which letters go into it. You get to think about what emotional baggage does it happen to have. And of course, not everybody's going to have the same connotations with every word, but at least for yourself, you get to pick, oh, that's almost right, but oh no, this one's even better.
So it does help.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
it's
that background
fun.
does help.
Absolutely.
Well, I think after this interview, our audience is really ready to hear you read your work. And it's going to be quite interesting, I'm sure. And thank you so much for coming tonight.
Well, thank you very much for having me. So I'm going to start with Broken by Beauty. It is possible, on a night of snow, when porch lights make yellow diamonds of fat, cold flakes spangling the twigs, spangling the luminous blue silence, to be broken by beauty. To be broken open like an alabaster egg in April, hatching forth to giggling white blossoms, scenting every incredulous birdsong breath of air turned giddy with life, hatching like front doors, scattering their people to the sidewalks. It is possible, on a red gold afternoon, when every maple impersonates chrysanthemums, flinging implausible color to the piercing freshness of the sky and the festive crinkle of fallen applause to those who drag their feet, to be broken by beauty. To be broken open like a dry crack in crumbling earth, unfolding to fertile black beneath an impetuous rain, exhaling mud-scented breath to grateful leaves that dance like sparkling children in the sprinkler, unfolding like frail smiles, fluttering along the checkout line. It is all possible. And I like to start with that because it says a lot about what my poetry tends to be about, which is looking for the beauty and the joy and the delight that is all around us. So I like to start with that poem because it demonstrates a lot about how my poetry tends to be about looking for the beauty and the joy that is there all around if we remember to look for it. So sometimes I'm looking for the beauty in really ordinary things. So this is a haiku called Tiny Galaxy. Each dandelion lives its tiny galaxy. Sun, then moon, then stars. And sometimes I'm looking for the wonder in imaginary things. So I'm going to read a poem that is inspired by the fairy tale Sleeping Beauty. This is a sestina, if anyone is interested in forms. It always was a strange, unlikely tale, with all those fairies and the blunted curse and burning spindles reddening the night. That tower, inexplicable and gray, and waiting for her in it all those years, the 13th fairy tempting her to spin. The counselors could not predict that spin into a deep, unconscious fairy tale that seemed a blink but was 100 years. They couldn't ask. There wasn't time to curse the softly falling shade of hazy gray that shrouded them in timeless, deadened night. There are no stars in their enchanted night. The moon does not move up and smoothly spin across their sky. The heavy twilight gray is strange enough. The faded tale that others vaguely told about a curse grew like a hedge as nights grew into years. Within the hedge, there are no passing years. Above them hovers neither day nor night. The cook falls blankly silent in mid-curse. The spit across the hearth stops in mid-spin. Not one ungrazing horse flicks with its tail. The flies sleep on the walls, dark gray on gray. And on the slated turret eaves, the gray doves rest unmourning through the timeless years. The stream, lulled in the courtyard, tells no tale of other lands. And through the sunless night, the breeze lies still and does not lift and spin the dry leaves through the yard. That is the curse. It is a dull and blunted sort of curse. In all the time it rules, it cannot gray the queen's brown hair. It cannot spin a single spider's web. In all those years, it has not made the princess lose a night. During this time, there is a stranger tale. When momentary sleep can weave a tale or mesh the dreamer in a stifling curse, when epics can be lived in half a night, imagine what strange lands of shifting gray were roamed minutely in 100 years. Dreams far more wonderful than fairies spin. Actually, while I'm on Sleeping Beauty, why don't I read you another one that's inspired by Sleeping Beauty? This one comes from the idea that if you remember your fairy tale, there were 12 fairies who were invited to the princess's christening, and then the 13th who was not invited. But the fairy tales never tell you actually what all the fairies gave as their gifts. They sort of go, oh, one gave beauty, one gave whatever. Well, this one is the 7th fairy at the christening of a princess. In a shower of scintillant integers, wreathed in dancing equations and always in her prime, the 7th fairy appears. The rickrack of her petticoats graphs a perfect sign. The rays of her tiara pass through infinite points. Her glittering wand traces trigonometric functions, multiplying a confetti of sparkling variables above the cooing infant's curls, as she murmurs of exchequers and economies and bestows the gift of math. Here's the one about forgetting that I mentioned in the interview. My words are fugitive and thin, minnows slipping through the net, or berries the robins have stolen, remembered sweetness on my tongue's tip. I used to gather them in my arms, fly among their innumerable flocks, flashing silver as we wheeled and spun, catching the light on our wings. But my words have grown fearful and flutter out of reach, birds and berries and dark, cold, slippery fish all darting into the corners of my mind. How have I offended them that they should fly from me? Let's do another one based on fairy tales. Well, mythology. This one is about Persephone in Hades. It's called The Shades Watch Persephone's Arrival in Hades. If you remember your mythology, she was kidnapped by Hades. And because she was given a pomegranate to eat, because she ate those seeds while she was there, she couldn't return entirely to the surface of the earth. She had to stay some amount of the time in the underworld. That's why we have spring. All right, the shades watch Persephone's arrival in Hades. These listless plains were ignorant of screams, till echoes dropped like wadded cotton shrouds in Lethe's torpid water as she crossed. He set her, sullen, on the carbon throne. Her brightness cut the passive haze like ice. We stilled our barren wanderings to watch. The rest of us had never screamed or shone. No thought of life had moved since mute descent. We paid our earthly coin impassively. We watched her crack the pomegranate's hull to disinter the blood-red seeds and taste. I hadn't thought of blood in all this time. Unwarned her sentence, burial alive. Her vivid fingers take the first red bead. We watch her vivid mouth. The silence is a rustle of cracked leaves, a scratching breath. Inaudible, unvoiced, we murmur, don't. 3 times we watch a seed to living lips. 3 times there is no cry, no warning, death. We are no longer human and forget what we once were. Did misery invite our tacit hate? Did Tantalus's shadow chain our grace? Did hissing shame advise, don't get involved? We numbed our minds. No thought of wringing blood can breathe us now. Does conscience die with death? Not before this, we forfeited our souls. Here's a little more whimsical one. This is called The Window. My kitchen window now and then looks out into another world. Late afternoon, I rinse the lettuce, watching distant dragons twine their gleaming tails in spiraling flight above a golden city which no street I know can reach. Sometimes at night, that strange sky holds a different moon. Today, a glowing scarlet bird sang opals in the fragrant dark-leafed trees that do not grow in my backyard. Small people, clad in glittering beetle shells, were beating copper drums in revelry while I was scrubbing dinner's dirty pans. Is there a window in that golden town where some small person, copper-clad, looks out onto the otherworldly mystery that is my unmown dandelion lawn? As darkness wakes, the dreams, in their heavy gowns, are searching for homes. One pale dream doe steps precise as pinpricks, stitching through the lush weeds of sleep to the white flicker of her tail. Blue morpho dreams float spiraling currents, slip into minds asleep in velvet domes, and dust faint pollen across the deep valleys. Dream fish hurl the silver blades of their bodies up the tumult of falling sleep to sing their iridescent stories once again in the submerged pools of their spawning grounds. The coppery dream quail gathers scattered seeds of thought, of fear, of light, of doubt, of passion, a breadcrumb trail between small doors behind which she seeks a place to nest for the night, her chicks beneath her wings. So the dreams in their deep feathers, their glimmering scales, their sleek pelts are searching for homes. Welcome them, these refugees from the strange shores, bearing pollen and seeds and song. As Poet Laureate of Nydam, I wrote a poem for the town, which I presented to it just last week, actually. So I will share it here. And of course, this is written for Nydam, but I think it will be true for people in any town. This is called Home, Nydam 2025. Each of us is home to many homes. The place you're born may settle in the heart. For some, New England's maple-sweetened hills. For some, a scene of other trees on other earth. The place you went to school may live in you. Lessons like the slant of sun, arrangements of worn desks, voices in whatever language cradled childhood dreams. A home may be the city where you joined someone, the house where family grew, the place you came to rest. A song may carry you like home, that book that always draws you in, the face of one who loves you, their voice, their touch, where you belong. We carry many homes within us, packed like sweaters, still carrying familiar scents and whispered memories. But for all the gathered homes, folded in our hearts, layered, tattered, outgrown, loved, we share the same home here. This home comes wrapped in trees, displayed on granite ledge, tied with a ribbon of river. We share this home in checkout lines, familiar streets, the trill of wrens and shrill of hawks, the snow, the mud. We share the fireworks and fire trucks, playground and commuter rail, parking lots and parks. And in this shared place, we are home to one another. Our faces, our voices, our fears and joys, frustration and generosity, each of us the fabric of each other's lives. And each of us is home. All right, here's another that I guess when you think about it is also about what it means to think about your home. This is called If Your World is a Pearl. If your world is a pearl, wrapped in moist and briny clouds, enclosed in opalescent heavens, do you dance in the lucent twilight in delight? Do you raise your arms in gratitude for the seed of sand at the heart and lay your palms on the lustrous earth, caressing the miracle of coming to be? Do you lie on your back in the fields of silvery sheen, looking up at the smoky violet aurora, wondering how there could possibly be such generosity of beauty? Do you feel in the iridescent embrace of your universe that love cannot be impossible? Dance then and wonder. There are oceans beyond worlds within oceans beyond worlds, and they are all children of mother of pearl, grains of sand grown into miracles. This one is called Medusa Sings to Her Snakes. Come, my loves, don't squabble. Smooth your snarls, soothe your cool knots, and bask in the clear white sunshine above the turquoise sea. Whisper your secrets to each other in harmony, and share with me the wisdom that you gather from the sunlit air, scented on your two-tipped tongues. Sway together in your strength, shining like tarnished bronze. Protection in your coils, and healing in your kiss. Fearsome we may be, but beautiful. We'll frighten evil with our sweet-fanged smiles and strangle horror in our fierce embrace. Here in the sunlight's sparkling glare, dancing with dreadful sinuous grace, we're gorgeous, my scale-sleek loves. We're simply stunning. All right, I want to end with this one called Knitting. The witch at the end of our street knits on her rickety porch, rocker creaking, magic wands clicking, sparks freckling the spellbound dusk like fireflies. On her paired wands, sparking beneath her gnarled fingers, enchanted fibers purl and mesh themselves into odd, uncanny things that cannot be bought. The children try to catch the sparks, chasing magic until bedtime. She twirls up the flossy tails that comets brush across the winter stars and knits long scarves of silvery gauze that turn heads, drawing eyes toward their ephemeral orbit. She winds up the soft rays of sun from summer afternoons and knits thick mittens of golden yarn that warm fingers, opening hands to spread their warmth. She twines the sparkling chords of morning birdsong's harmonies and knits bright socks of cheerful threads that lighten hearts, lifting feet to dance along the sidewalk. She gathers up strong skeins of mothers' hugs for cardigans, rolls glittering spools of bright ideas for stocking caps, spins bubbling laughter into shimmering silk for shawls, and, because she remembers the 80s fondly, keeps a few balls of ordinary pink acrylic for leg warmers. Everyone on our street has warm and open hands and light and dancing feet. Some of us turn heads. Everyone on our street contributes hugs and laughter to the witch's stash of many textured yarns and gets it back again.
Welcome to For the Love of Words. My name is Priscilla Almquist Olsen, your host, and today it gives me a great deal of pleasure to welcome Deborah Galiga, who is from, where are you from, Deborah?
Boston.
Boston, but she has been well known here in Easton because she participates in Linda Marks's concert series at Oak Saints Memorial Hall, and she is charmed with our beautiful Oak Saints Memorial Hall, and the acoustics are wonderful, so I'm sure she loves that too. So welcome, Deborah.
Thank you, Priscilla. I'm thrilled to be here.
Well, we're thrilled to have you, and you know, the Oak Saints Memorial Hall is a cultural center. It's a venue for the Sheltown Cultural District, and I'm on the board of that, and we have 7 band concerts during July and August, every Wednesday, and then we have a big finale in September. But we also sponsor other classical events. So we have a newsletter, and we mention Linda Marks's series. We mention Unity Church's series, and they have hosted a world-famous pianist who lives here in Easton, Asia Koropanova. And today I met a violinist who doesn't live here. She lives in Boston like you, and she's world-renowned too, and she's from Romania. And and her name is Irina Mirashona, and both of them have led wonderfully exciting lives, traveled all over the world, and so it's a very cultural place, Easton, and we welcome you to add to all that culture. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Where were you born? And
well, I was born in Illinois, and I started playing in coffee houses when I was in high school. And one of my influences was Joni Mitchell back then. Big Joni Mitchell fan. And also, I was in a band in high school as well. So
and
I had...
Did you play the guitar in the band or another instrument?
I played guitar starting off, and then I switched to bass because we had a bass player, but sometimes he wouldn't show up. And somebody needed to step in, so I learned it on the stage.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's so much fun. Bass is so, it's wonderful. It's string, but it's percussion.
It is, exactly. And I also play piano, which is another one of my main instruments.
Right.
But I didn't bring the piano today.
Well, you must play keyboard too.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So, what were the circumstances of your childhood that put you on this road to musical delight?
Well, I always liked to sing along with the radio and harmonize, and I was in choruses and chorales. And then when the Beatles came out, well, just like everybody of a certain age, it sort of transformed many people's lives. And I got bit by the rock bug, and so I joined a band in high school, and we sang 3-part harmony songs, but we also could rock out too. And then I went to Berklee College of Music in Boston. And so there I also joined many other bands and did many other projects over the years.
Many years ago, I used to go to the student concerts. They were free at Berklee, and wonderful,
it was
talented
great.
people.
Beautiful. It's a beautiful experience going there, and I learned a lot, and I met a lot of people. And
so, tell me, what happened after college?
I joined more bands. I played more music. I was in a band that played a lot of the rock clubs and original clubs around Boston back in the day, and we had a record out. And so I'm also working now on some recordings that I'll be releasing soon.
Oh, it's wonderful.
One of the recordings I'm working on is called Retro, and this is going to be a look back at a lot of my older material, sort of collected, and also some more material that I've done recently, but made to sound old, like a Motown song. So it'll all be collected on this retro, and I'm thinking of releasing it on vinyl as well.
Oh, how much fun is that?
Yes.
And vinyl has really come back. A couple of years ago, I asked my daughter, when she said, "What do you want for Christmas?" And I said, "I want a record player." What's the other word?
A turntable?
No, it's a turntable. Right. That's it. So instead of a turntable, she gave me a modern Victrola, the brand name, and it plays all 3 speeds of vinyl, and 45, 33, 78, and it also plays tape cassettes and DVDs. So it's like a 3-in-1, and then it's just amazing.
That sounds like a cool thing to have, cool gadget.
Yes, and then we have a local thrift store. The Lions thrift store in town, and I got so many albums, 3 for $1.
You could have some gems in there. There could be something worth a lot of money.
I think I might have. I've got next time my son visits, I have to have him go through. But he wanted Aerosmith. I had 2 of those, and but yeah, I have Joni Mitchell. I have her old ones.
She's just fabulous. So I always had the 2 sort of. I had the folky side, the solo performer, Joni Mitchell kind of side, and I had the rock person playing keyboards and bass and singing in rock clubs. I played at the Rat in Boston, which was a notorious rock club, and now I've calmed down, and I'm working on writing music for film and TV, or learning how to get into that field.
How nice. Well, my son's a film producer in Hollywood. Maybe we should talk later.
We should. It's a whole nother thing, Priscilla. Music for film and TV is very different from artist music.
Yeah. So how did you get into songwriting?
I always wanted to express myself. When I started off, I played songs by other people. I mean, the Beatles were a huge influence. And I guess when I was in Berklee, I started writing more songs, and I started working on it. It just came out as a way of expressing myself.
So you've been writing songs for a long time.
Yes.
And enjoying it. Now, what are your resources for songwriting? Some people tell me, well, it's just whatever comes in my head, or something on the news, or something a friend said to me, or
all those things. It could be all those things. Conversations, feelings that you have that you want to express, or sometimes taking the point of view of somebody else, a third person. In one of the songs I'll play later, it's all third person.
I see, yeah.
But I've had very different. I had one song about insomnia.
Really?
I had a song about the car as a metaphor for life. Or the joys of a Saturday.
Yeah, very good. So, and what about the melodies? Which comes first, the lyrics or the melody?
They can come either way. both ways. Sometimes you set up the chords first, sometimes the lyrics come first. I've also done collaborations where people give me lyrics
Oh,
and I work on them.
and then you
write
provide the
melody
music.
And the music, sir, yeah.
Oh, that's a lot of fun.
So, yeah, they could go either way depending.
Which do you enjoy the most?
Melody, music,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. And but it sounds as if the lyrics come pretty naturally to you.
Sometimes.
Does the music dictate it, or is it just the other way around?
It depends. It depends. So I think that some people think that getting the lyrics right and getting them all as fixed up as possible before you put the music is the way to go.
I see.
So
Okay.
I've been working like that now.
Okay. And so, what does the future hold besides writing music for film and TV?
Well, I'll be doing this retro album release, and then I'm working on another album, which will be 12 songs. It will have 9 originals and 3 covers, and that I've been going in the studio doing a lot of recording. In fact, I'm going tomorrow into the studio.
Oh.
I love to go to the recording studio.
Yeah. Now, which recording studios do you use? I mean, is it easy to find one?
Oh, yes, yes. This one was recommended by a friend, and the engineer is excellent. We really have a good relationship, and we really enjoy working together.
Good.
So I'm getting together a lot of well-known musicians, and I'm arranging and producing the album as well. So it's a matter of getting them in and doing the recordings and then laying on what they call overdubs over the top and singing the vocals. You have a bass, and then you build it up by putting on different layers. Recording is so cool.
Yeah. Oh, and that's interesting. 'Cause
I do my own background vocals a lot of the times too, which is really fun. I love harmonizing with myself.
So, are you an alto, a soprano, or a tenor?
Alto. I can sing soprano.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. I'm in my church choir, and I sing soprano, alto, and tenor.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, I know, it is cool. I know.
Tenors,
Yes,
they get good parts.
they do. They do, yeah. And so I'm the only one. Oh, no, there's another woman, too. She's got a very, an octave and a half or so. Yeah. Anyway, so I know that you have paired up with Linda Marks at the Olsen Memorial Hall. Do you plan on doing more concerts with her?
Yes, yes. I'm in the International Singer-Songwriters Association, our local
Yes.
chapter, and it's been a wonderful. We have local meetings, and there's resources and there's opportunities to join forces in concerts, just like the one you saw.
Yeah.
So I hope to be doing other ones. And I applied to perform at the Jamaica Plain Music Festival in September, so I'm hoping that I get in there.
Yeah. What about going out of state? Do you now Linda goes to Nashville a lot. Do you have any other places you go, or do you sort of stay around Boston?
Stay around here.
Around here.
I'm more of a recording artist and local person.
Great. Well, it sounds like you're really living the life and enjoying it. And
Yes.
I heard your music in March when you were at the Olsen Memorial Hall, and you were fabulous.
Thank you.
And you have so much joy when you perform. You know, you're having fun.
Thank you so much. Well, I do have fun. I feel it, and I reach down deep inside, and I want to share something with the audience, and I'd like them to feel, and so that's my goal, is to have people feel something, or maybe relate to, in a way, personally to what I'm singing about.
Well, you certainly do that.
Thank you.
At least that's my humble opinion.
Thank you.
Thank you, Deborah, so much for Deborah Galiga for joining us today, and we're going to be seeing you at Olsen Memorial Hall again, I'm sure.
I hope to. It's such a beautiful building. When I drove up, I was like, oh, I'm playing here, and I took a picture of it from outside. I really like Victorian architecture, and it was just inside. It was just.
Well, have you seen the stained glass on the second floor?
I didn't get a tour.
Oh my goodness, you're going to get a tour.
I want a tour.
Yes, Freddie Ames loves to give tours. He's the manager of the Olsen Memorial Hall. So good. And so how do people get in touch with you? Do you have a website?
Not yet. I'm working on it, but next time, if I come back again, I'll have all that figured out.
Okay. So spell your name for us. Deborah, Deborah, And then,
Galiga.
and believe it or not, it's Polish.
A lot of people think it's Gallagher with a Boston accent. Ah, Gallagher. No, Gallagher.
And your mother's Swedish, part Swedish, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we're part of the melting pot, and that's a good thing. And it's a good thing you joined me. Thank you so much. And now we're going to hear some wonderful music. Most of them, you're going to do all originals?
Yes.
Great. 3 songs by Deborah. Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you, Priscilla.
Hello, I'm Deborah Galiga, and this song is called The Simple Life. I wrote it because I have a deep yearning sometimes to go back in time, back to a time before all these technological advances appeared, before computers and cell phones, when things were a lot simpler. So this is a look at what we might have if we were able to do that and enjoy the simple life. I'm gonna put down my cell phone and look around, talk to the person that is next to me. I might discover some common ground, won't let my gadgets get a hold on me. These are the kinds of things that keep us apart. Let's take a deep breath and slow down. I want to go back to a simple life. Yes, I want to go back to a simple life. When we had records and rotary phones, just 40 songs on the hit parade. Neighbors would stop to talk outside their homes. Now people talk online, not face to face. I'm not at home in this digital world. I guess I'm an analog girl. I wanna go back to a simple life. Yes, I wanna go back to a simple life. There must be another way that we can get through the day. Take a look inside to find the long road home. Ooh, oh. I'm not at home in this digital world because I'm an analog girl. I wanna go back to a simple life. 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 Remember when you were in middle school? Some people, I think, would like to forget that time. This is a song that takes you back to when you were 11 and a half and things were changing at a rapid pace and blood was coursing through your veins and everything was new and fresh. So it's sung from the point of view of a person who's 11 and a half. I ride my bike down Maple Street, past tiny trees and growing lawns. Each home has a little garden, the sprinkler's always on. I pedal on without a care to my best friend's house. We'll talk and laugh about the things that matter most when you're 11 and a half. My mom in a flowered apron mixes meatloaf with her hands. And though I plead to go to the party, she's deaf to my demands. My busy mind is racing round with thoughts no one has ever had. The feelings burn right through your veins when you're 11 and a half. Model horses over my bed, go-go boots and fishnet stockings, praying he might notice me. Well, if he don't, I'll tell my diary. In my secret dreams, I'm beautiful, so strong and brave, so graceful and wise. I wanna be part of the popular crowd, but I gotta see the world through outsiders' eyes. Now I drive down Maple Street, I feel the ghosts from my past. You can move away, but you can't escape 11 and a half. This last song is called Watchless Person. And you might have noticed I'm not wearing a watch. And I started to think about some people who might not be wearing watches and why they would not be wearing watches. And the first person I thought of might be a homeless person on the street. A second person I thought of might be a person who was a little, needed some help in another way. And the last person I thought maybe it was an executive that somebody stole his watch. So this is the stories of those three people. And they're all watchless persons. So here we go. Sitting on the dirty city street, a woman dressed in rags held out her hand, with battered hat and trash bags full of cans. The people passing by left a wide path around just another lost soul. She had no reason to be on time. She had nowhere to go. She was a watchless person. Watchless person. Smoking in the cafe window, smiling. A bearded man held court for all to hear. And though his voice was loud, his eyes were clear. He said, "You'll never catch me keeling over from running for a late bus. We have no reason to watch the time, 'cause it keeps track of us. He was a watchless person. Watchless person. With his briefcase and his pinstripe suit, the strangely calm exec came ambling by, reaching up and loosening his tie. His Rolex had been taken away by just another common thief. And though he could not voice his thoughts, he felt so much relief. He was a watchless person. Watchless person. Watchless person. Watchless person. Watchless person. Watchless person. Oh.